He's eaten a live scorpion, slept inside a dead camel, drunk his own piss, and somehow made all of it look like a completely normal Tuesday. Bear Grylls has spent 2 decades convincing the world he's basically part mountain goat, part Navy SEAL, and part golden retriever with a blade. But here's the question that's followed him for almost as long as the show's been on air. How much of it is actually real? Today we're going to do a bit of a deep dive into the myth of Bear Grylls, separating the legit wilderness skill from the reality TV magic trick, while giving the guy full credit for genuinely entertaining a whole generation of us whilst we're sat on our asses on the couch. Before the survival empire, Edward Michael Grylls, yes that is his real name, was a legit adventurer. He served with the 21 SAS, and in 1996, a freefall parachuting accident broke his back in 3 places. 18 months later, at the age of 23, he became one of the youngest people ever to summit Mount Everest. And that background is exactly why Man vs Wild hit so hard when it launched. In the UK it was called Born Survivor, in the US and most of the world it was Man vs Wild. The first episode aired in 2006, and by the time it finished its run in 2011 it had stretched to 7 seasons and somewhere between 66 and 73 episodes, depending how you count the specials. Audiences believed they were watching a hardened ex-military survivalist truly roughing it, alone, in the world's most brutal environments. And for a while, that was exactly what the marketing sold. Now let's talk scale, because the numbers are genuinely enormous. Man vs Wild became one of the most watched survival shows on the planet. Bear Grylls' own figures put the total audience for the series at around 1.2 to 2 billion viewers worldwide. His production company later claimed that across all his shows, the content has been watched in more than 150 countries. In the UK, early episodes of Born Survivor were pulling roughly 1.4 million viewers, solid numbers for a specialist channel at the time. The show was Emmy nominated, it spun off books, merchandise and an entire secondary career. After Man vs Wild ended, Grylls didn't slow down. Running Wild with Bear Grylls launched in 2014 on NBC, later moved to National Geographic, and by 2026 was on its 9th season. Guests have included Barack Obama, Kate Winslet, Julia Roberts, Roger Federer, Zac Efron, and a long list of A-listers. On Netflix, the interactive series You vs Wild and its spin-offs have racked up hundreds of millions of hours watched. Grylls himself posted that the franchise crossed 400 million hours. He's written over 100 books that have sold more than 20 million copies. He was the youngest ever Chief Scout in the UK and later an ambassador for a global scout movement of tens of millions. Whatever you think of the staging debate, commercially this is one of the most successful adventure television brands of the 21st century. Then in July 2007, the Sunday Times dropped a story that changed how a lot of people watched the show. A survival consultant who had worked on the series, Mark Reinhardt, went public with details that the production had kept off camera. The most viral claim, on several occasions when the audience thought Grylls was spending the night in a hastily built shelter in the wild, he was actually in a hotel or lodge with the crew. Specific examples stuck in the public mind. During the Sierra Nevada episode, the one where he bites the head off a snake, some nights were spent at the Pines Resort at Bass Lake, a place marketed as a cosy family getaway with television, internet access, stone fireplaces, and according to reports, blueberry pancakes for breakfast. In a Hawaii episode that presented him as a sort of real-life Robinson Crusoe stranded on a desert island, he was on an outlying part of the island and reportedly retired to a motel at night. There were other accusations. A raft appeared to be built from scratch on camera and had, according to the consultant, been constructed by a team first, then dismantled so Grylls could rebuild it for the cameras. Horses presented as wild mustangs were said to have come from a local trekking station. In at least one volcanic sequence, there were claims that hot coals and smoke machines had been used to heighten the drama. Channel 4 in the UK launched an investigation. Discovery Channel issued a statement acknowledging that isolated elements of some episodes were not natural to the environment, and that for health and safety reasons, the crew and host had received survival assistance in the field. They promised the show would become 100% transparent. Future episodes and re-airings carried clear disclaimers. Grylls receives help from the camera crew on occasion, uses safety equipment when necessary, and sometimes deliberately puts himself in dangerous situations in order to demonstrate techniques. Older episodes were re-edited. Voiceovers were adjusted, so the audience wasn't left believing he was completely alone with only a knife and a flint. Grylls' own response at the time was measured. He said the night sequences shown on camera were done for real, but when he wasn't filming, or when he needed to recover before a particularly exhausting sequence, he stayed with the crew at a base camp lodge. He admitted that some elements were planned and condensed for television. Looking back, he said, he should have been clearer from the start. Here's a more balanced picture that most survival experts who reviewed the content tend to land on. The actual bushcraft techniques Grylls demonstrates, building shelters, purifying water, starting fires, reading terrain, improvising tools, are generally legitimate and technically sound. He's not inventing the how. Plenty of instructors will tell you the core skills are real. What was criticised was the framing. The editing and the early marketing strongly implied a level of pure solitary danger and total isolation that didn't match the reality of a full television production. There was always a crew, medics, safety personnel and logistical support nearby. That's true of almost every responsible adventure shoot though. The difference is that Man vs Wild, especially in its first season, leaned hard into the one man alone against nature story. This is a classic reality TV tension. Cooking shows edit out hours of prep, home renovation shows compress months into 40 minutes, survival shows compress genuine risk, genuine skill, and a lot of boring logistics into tidy, camera-friendly segments. Grylls simply became the most famous face of that particular formula. After the 2007 controversy, the show never fully shook the "is it staged" label, but it also never collapsed. Discovery kept making it, audiences kept watching. The disclaimers stayed on screen, and the series continued for several more seasons. Whatever you make of the hotel nights and the pre-built rafts, it's hard to deny what came next. Man vs Wild didn't just succeed, it helped create a whole lane of television. Imitators appeared. Bear Grylls moved into celebrity wilderness specials, interactive Netflix experiments, primetime competition formats, and a global personal brand that now includes production companies, outdoor education programs, and a very large speaking career. Running Wild turned the solo survival format into a two-hander with famous people. Taking the President of the United States on a wilderness trip is a different kind of television achievement from drinking your own piss. The Netflix interactive shows let viewers make the survival decisions. The book sales, the scout leadership roles, both push the brand beyond TV entirely. Say what you want about the early staging, the man is extremely good at what he actually does, making basic survival skills look urgent, entertaining, and weirdly aspirational to people who will never sleep inside a camel. So, fraud or fact? Honestly, somewhere in between, like most reality TV. The credentials are real, the core skills are real, the audience numbers are real and enormous, the one man completely alone against the wild with no support framing of the early seasons was always more Hollywood than pure documentary. The 2007 revelations forced the show to become more transparent, disclaimers appeared, editing changed, Grylls kept working and the brand only got bigger.
My head's just on fire. And yeah, it doesn't smell great, but this is really nice and cooling.